Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and the Modern Warfare 3 beta is no more. As you can see, it's been shut down. Weekend 1 is now over. Weekend 2 is set to begin in just 2 days' time. On Thursday, October 12th, it's going to be open for all PlayStation fans, and it's going to be early access if you pre-ordered or if you have a code on Xbox or on PC. We got some information from Sledgehammer Games. I've been waiting so long for this because typically they are very good when it comes to feedback. They nerf Battle Rage very quickly, but aside from that, we haven't really heard too much from Sledgehammer in regards to the beta and in regards to changes that they may be making. Well, today they gave us a glimpse as to what they're working on going into Weekend 2. Here's going to be a nice little visual for you. Upcoming comms, operator visibility, slide timing, as well as spawn selection. So they actually went to Twitter and they told us a little bit more, and I'm just going to read this out for you guys. Weekend 1 of the Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer beta has come to an end. We'll be back on Thursday with the highly anticipated return of High Rise, the debut of Cutthroat, and more expected throughout the weekend ahead. Until then, we would like to take a moment to thank you all for your feedback. Our team is hard at work on further improvements for Weekend 2 and beyond. Later this week, you can expect an update on some of the top concerns that we've observed, including, but not limited to, operator visibility, slide timing, as well as spawn selection. So there you guys have it. They're going to be working on operator visibility, which was definitely one of the biggest problems of the beta. I guess I could go through and get my own side-by-side comparisons, but Exclusive Ace already did it perfectly because he's freaking great at everything he does. Look at the side-by-side comparisons here. Like in terms of visibility between an operator on your team versus an operator on the other team, you can't really tell. Not only is the text itself smaller, but it's definitely a lot more faded, and it's a lot harder to distinguish whether that's a friend or a foe. Not to mention the diamonds that appear above enemy players' heads, they only appear when you're like really looking at them as compared to just always being on top of their head. So they're definitely going to be working on that, which is fantastic. With a game like Modern Warfare 3 that is so much more fast-paced than a game like Modern Warfare 2, it is nice to see that they're going to be working on that visibility as well as spawn selection, because my goodness, these spawns in the beta were rough. That's to be expected, I suppose. Every beta's spawns are rough, and you may be thinking, well, I mean, these are old maps. Like, couldn't they just take the old spawns, just put them in, and they should work? Well, it's different now because of the movement, because of the different game modes. For example, Hardpoint never existed back in Modern Warfare 2, so how do you figure out the spawns for Hardpoint on a state when Hardpoint has never been played on that map before? You know, just little things like that. They're definitely working through a bunch of things, but I am happy that Weekend 2 is coming. With Weekend 2, we're going to be getting not only the return of High Rise, that's going to be fun. It's going to be the 5th and final map of the beta, and we all know High Rise. We all love High Rise. But on top of that, Search and Destroy will be part of Weekend 2. So if you're somebody who enjoys Search and Destroy, you're definitely going to be happy to get your hands on that mode. And not to mention, as always, when it comes to betas, they haven't confirmed this, but I would imagine they're going to be increasing the level cap. Right now, the level cap is 20, and level 22 is when you get those covert sneaky sneakers, right? Which are kind of essential for a game mode like Search and Destroy. So with Weekend 2, I imagine there's going to be a level cap increase that's going to allow us to unlock that other submachine gun that we could not use unless you pre-ordered. That's going to be nice as well. We're going to have access to another weapon. The Cutthroat game mode, I think, can be potentially very cool. If you guys didn't catch it during Call of Duty Next, allow me just to kind of break it down really quickly. Cutthroat is going to be 3v3v3, kind of similar to multi-team from Black Ops 2, but it's not respawn, which is unfortunate. So how it works is you're going to spawn in basically a big triangle. You know, one team's over here, one team's over here, and one team's over there, you know, and then it's basically gunfight at that point. If you get shot, you will be put down. You have to be finished. You can be revived by your teammates, but basically it's gunfight with 3 teams of 3. You can revive your teammates, and the objective is to just kill every other person on the map. And if time goes on for too long, then just like gunfight, there will be a capture spot in the middle of the map somewhere for you to actually go ahead and grab. So it has potential to be a good mode. At the same time, like, they always try to bring out these new modes, and rarely do they end up working out all that well. I'm thinking of Champions Hill from Call of Duty Vanguard. I'm pretty sure they actually cut support from Champions Hill, by the way. I think you can't even play that game mode anymore, but Cutthroat's gonna be there. It'll be fun to try out. If you like Ground War, then the Orlov military base is also going to be accessible during Weekend 2. So there's going to be 2 different Ground War maps. There's going to be 5 multiplayer maps in the form of High Rise, Rust, Skid Row, Estate, as well as Favela. Search and Destroy is returning, level cap increase, which will give us more access to different perks and different attachments and different everything, you know. So in general, Weekend 2 should be a lot of fun. For me personally, I'm damn excited to be able to play the game game on my PC and use my Xbox controller again. At first, I thought it was an issue with the PlayStation controller. Now, it turns out my PS5 controller is just scuffed, is what is wrong with it. I kid you guys not, like, it's hard to even run on my controller because the stick is, like, the right stick is so broken that, like, the slightest tap of it will make it activate, and as such, you're seeing throughout this gameplay, I had to spend the entirety of this beta trying to work around the fact that my right stick was not working properly, and that's why if you randomly see me knifing or calling in a kill streak or whatever when I'm not supposed to be able, that's why, because just the way my controller worked, if I put the smallest amount of pressure on that right stick, it just doesn't work, whereas my Xbox controller, I've never had that issue. I've never had that issue in 15 years, so it has to be a broken controller because no one else seems to have that problem. So I'm excited to be able to play on my home platform with my home controller. You know, that's going to make the game feel a lot better for me personally, and I'm sure for many of you guys out there as well who participated in the PlayStation only beta. And again, I'm just excited to see how everything is going to play out in terms of the maps and the game modes and just everything in general. I mean, it's a very fun time of year, but at the same time, I will say I was getting kind of bored of the PlayStation beta a little bit because we're playing the same 3 and then eventually 4 multiplayer maps over and over and over, and we were level capped, and at that point all you can do is like level up your guns, of which we didn't really have a ton of them. So having an increased level cap, having access to more things, I think is going to really make the game feel a lot better, and not to mention everything Sledgehammer is working on. So far, again, they've mentioned, you know, the idea of making player visibility better and working on these spawns, but there's definitely a number of other issues I think a lot of us have with the game as well. When it comes to weapon balance, for example, certain weapons really excel over other ones. I wonder if there's going to be changes there. Certain attachments were not working properly. Hell, the Bass P, or the Bass B, whatever they call it in this game, the Bass P is a submachine gun in Modern Warfare 2. The Bass B, I think, is a battle rifle here in Modern Warfare 3. Confusing as all shit because they can't use real names apparently, but there were issues with that gun where it hit registration was just not working, and that was happening specifically on that gun. So I wonder if something like that is on the radar. Are they going to be fixing that, right? So basically right now we are just waiting for a blog post where they're going to detail everything, and as always, just keep giving them your feedback, and hopefully they're going to keep on working on the game, and hopefully Modern Warfare 3 will have a good launch. I mean, goodness gracious, it would be nice for a COD title to have a good launch for a change as compared to what we always end up getting, which is a very buggy, broken mess that takes a couple seasons to get fixed, and then by that point players are burned out, and you guys know the COD cycle, right? Right now we're in the best time of year because it's fun. Everything is potential right now, but Sledgehammer still has a lot of work to do when it comes to Modern Warfare 3. There's so many little things, like for example, we've been watching the footage here earlier when we're playing Hardpoint and everything. That stupid zoom-in camera, that's something I would like to see them change. I know it's a little thing, but it's the little things that really add up in these Call of Duty titles, and so far, after an entire weekend, like how many days of them gathering feedback, the only thing they really came up with so far is player visibility and the spawn system and something about sliding, I guess. Like, I feel like there should be a lot more that they should be working on, but again, we're waiting for that blog post or waiting for that news, and as always, I will keep you guys posted as we learn more and as these stories develop and as we get further into the Modern Warfare 3 beta. So be sure to subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you so much for listening to the video here today. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.